Clavicular is in the news again for a slap that he took from a random girl at a club. This is a fun one I'm going to break down for you in the legal mindset where we teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is a Fast Facts video, the quick and dirty version of the latest in legal news. So in case you haven't known, there's a famous Maxer Clavicular who's been circulating in a lot of clips, a lot of news in the general internet lately. And there was an incident at a club that I'm going to break down for you today and kind of break down the elements of battery and how kind of simple batteries end up playing out. So we'll play this video, and of course the random defendant is a random girl from the club who of course went from very angry to playing off as sweet in 2 seconds. And we'll get into how this breaks down and how consent plays into the elements of battery in Florida. So let's get into that with the clip. So here it is, the slap. I do appreciate how quickly that girl went from F you to slap to making a heart. That is, of course, very, 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 very psychopathic.
I'm gonna sue your entire family. Sue you? It's on you. Hey, hold her here, call the police. Hold her here, call the police. Hold her, get the police. Hey.
That look on her face, I think, is very priceless here, as she knows she's going to be dragged off and kicked out and potentially sent to the police. So that looked very, very, very classic there. Now, there is another clip which showed a little bit more context to this. So if you saw this clip in this context, you would say, okay, this is absolutely impermissible. It's not okay. It's never okay for one gender or another gender to beat up on each other. It doesn't make it okay that it's a girl hitting a guy. It doesn't make it permissible. That's still battery, right? But there is the debate over, okay, was there some consent to this based on a separate clip of this video? Let's play this other clip and show a little bit of that.
Do you really believe women don't deserve rights? That's kind of a thing to say, right? You said you don't believe women deserve rights?
Like which ones? You got to clarify.
Like all women. You said all women don't deserve rights? What's wrong with you for that?
Okay, so once again, we're going to gear up towards the slap here, but arguing about women's rights, stuff like that, having an opinion that definitely doesn't open you up in and of itself to being slapped. Just to be clear out there, although some people may think that is justifiable, that is indeed not justifiable to have a controversial opinion on something. So let's continue on that.
Which one?
You're weird as hell.
Well, can you clarify what you mean?
You were raised by a mother.
Well,
You know all women deserve rights. How the you, bitch?
which one? Like which right? Like the right to vote? Like can you explain what you mean? Like which right? Like the right to vote?
All women deserve the right to vote. Are you kidding me?
Well, I'm asking you to clarify. Like what's your
I'm not gonna punch you. I won't.
You don't want to what?
I'm gonna punch you.
Okay, there we go.
I am.
Go ahead, let's hear it.
You want to punch?
You don't have to vote for that. No,
So there is a point at which in that Clavicular does say, go ahead. He kind of does prompt that twice. So the question there becomes this. Is it battery, right? So the argument for battery is an intentional touching or striking against their will. So that's the actual bottom line there. So the question is it consensual? Because in most cases of non-serious battery where there isn't a serious injury, so Clavicular was not laid out, he didn't have his neck broken, he wasn't put in the hospital. Now, if it was serious, if it was a serious battery, there's no consent for that. There's no opening up to that. That would be completely off the table. But this is a situation of a slap. That's a non-serious one that is dealt with generally differently, particularly in the application of the law with the police, with the prosecutors, when they look at things where there's not serious injuries. So they look at mutual combat and they also look at implied and express consent. So to saying go ahead really open up to consent. And I think that's an interesting debate because on one side you say, well, go ahead could mean something like go ahead and I'm going to call security. I'm going to call the police. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to charge you with this. That could be what that meant on one side. Another one could say, okay, well, that's implied consent to it. And that's you kind of squaring up and saying, go ahead, you're not actually going to do this, right? And entering into some sort of mutual combat. In my assessment, though, looking at this, I think that she should be charged because I do not think there's clear consent in my judgment. However, I think in this case, the prosecutors in Florida down there probably will not likely charge this as there's no serious injury. This is a very common thing that you'll see if you're looking around clubs or bars, etc., that this sort of thing will not be charged if there's something debatable here. But I do believe in general, equal rights, as she was arguing for and as she was so opinionated about and saying, oh no, we've got to have these equal rights here, also should equal criminal charges. So if you're out there expressing your opinion and you get hit for that, well, that's something that you should be charged with. And that doesn't matter whether you're a man, woman, or anything in between. Anyways, I want to know what you guys think about the clavicular slap. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one.